right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead and get things started here tonight. First of all, thank you for coming out to our 2019-2020 Winter Sports Awards presentation here this evening. It's our pleasure to honor all of our student athletes that participated in all of our winter sports teams and celebrate the successes that they had on the field and off. So I appreciate you spending some time with us this evening. Before we get started, and I'll run through a brief synopsis of how tonight will work and what we're going to do in this room and breaking out from there. I do have some thank yous to Dr. Thompson and our Board of Education for their continued support of our athletic department, as always. Mr. Porcello and Mr. Nidzwicki for all the time that they spent at winter events with me this year, home events, away events, on the road, and really a big help to me, and so I appreciate their time and their energy that they give to the athletic department. Mrs. Ovens, the athletic department secretary, we all know she runs the show. She keeps everything moving down in our area, and she put together the program that you see tonight and helps immensely with all of the awards and the day-to-day operations that it takes to run our athletic department grades 7 through 12 here at Perry Local School. So thank you to Tony. Our transportation department for getting our students to and from events safely and on time. And, you know, it wasn't the most devastating of winters. We had very few cancellations this year. But our transportation department, Linda Kirsch and Sheila Dickwitz, do a great job of taking care of our student athletes. Thank you to our booster club. They're the behind-the-scenes people that do a lot. Our concession stands, every single concession stand at a home event is run by our booster club, and then our various teams will staff those concession stands, and I can tell you from personal experience, they're not the easiest thing to do, a lot of labor, but they do make some money, and they turn it back around and give to our programs and back to our kids. We just had a big reverse raffle last month. We're working on setting a date for next year, but the boosters made over $12,000 in one night, so if you were able to come out to that event, we really appreciate that support, and we help to grow that event year to year as we go. Our athletes, thank you to all of the ladies and gentlemen seated here in front of me this evening. We know, and I say this at every one of our banquets, it's not just a 3 or 4 month commitment anymore. Many of our athletes are doing things year-round to make themselves better and to give back to their school and to produce quality results for our sports programs. So gone are the days where you go from one fall sport, then you do winter for 3 months and spring sports for 3 months. We really need that because we're a small school. We're not Mentor or any big school. We need 3 sport athletes, but those requirements, even if there are 3 sport athletes, that the coaches ask of them is well beyond just the regular season. So I thank them for their time and their efforts. To our coaches, the time and the energy that you give to our program away from your friends and your family to make our student athletes better. I can't say enough about our coaching staff. I'm very proud of them. We have a couple people that, received all CVC Coach of the Year. We'll go over some of that stuff a little bit later, but I'm so happy with all of our staff and what they do for our kids. And last but not least, certainly the parents in the room tonight. Thank you guys for everything that you do. The late nights, again, not too many changes this year, but those things that come up that you've got to get your kids to this practice and from that practice. And again, we have multi-sport athletes in the room. It's a crazy schedule, and we couldn't do it without you parents, so thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, to give you a quick idea of how things are going to run here, we're going to, Mr. Porcello is going to come on stage. We're going to honor our all-academic Chagrin Valley Conference award winners, first and foremost, this evening. And then each of our coaches will have the chance to come up and talk to you about their teams and the successes and maybe some of the things that didn't go so well, the challenges that they faced and how they overcame those. They're going to give you a rundown of their season, and then most of our teams tonight will honor an MVP. Our wrestling program still has a couple of guys competing this weekend at the state tournament, so I know Coach Rowan won't do that one, but most of our teams will do an MVP this evening for their teams here on stage. And then we will break out. So if you see in your program on the front page We have 3 teams that will meet afterwards. Boys basketball will go to the media center. Girls basketball will stay right here in the theater. And our gymnastics will be in our faculty conference room, which is right at the entrance of the school there. So that's where we will break out afterward once we're done here in the theater. So I will say this before I call up our first presentation of the evening with our CBC All-Academic. We have 13 seniors. You have to be at 3.25 and lettered for 2 years in your sport. And so we have 13 of those athletes, so we obviously excelled in the classroom, but also on the court. And I'm not going to steal the thunder of all of our coaches. The only thing I will tell you is that each one of our teams that you see here this evening either finished first as the champion of the CBC or as the runner-up in the CBC. And that's the only 2 that didn't are gymnastics and cheerleading, and that's because the CBC, in their infinite wisdom, stopped running a gymnastics tournament. So we had no chance to compete for CBC there, unfortunately. And cheerleading, we're not keeping score, so it's hard to do that. But I'm extremely proud of all of our programs. We had a great winter, and we'll kick things off tonight by doing the academic side first. And our all-CBC academic team, our first honoree of the evening, represents our gymnastics program, and that's Katie Cousins. Representing basketball, Nate Covison. Representing our swim program, Jason Culleton. Sticking with our swim team, Lauren Hogler. Another Lauren for our swim program, Lauren Hurley. Moving on to our cheerleading program, Anna Nidzwicki. Back to swimming, Van Reinhardt. Boys basketball, Anthony Rosati. Wrestling, Kyle Rowan. Basketball, Drew Schiano. Swim, Evan Sears. Back to boys basketball, Noah Stevenson. And girls basketball, Lauren Sutyak. We'll get a picture, and while she's doing that, let's give one more round of applause. 2019 and 20 All Academic Chagrin Valley Conference. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a seat. All right, to kick things off tonight, just like we were with our all-academic team, now they were done alphabetical. If you didn't catch on, we're doing the same thing with our teams tonight. So boys basketball will lead us off, and their head coach, Mr. Al Isofano.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming out tonight. Looking forward to celebrating our boys basketball program, and along with listening to the other sports as well. Quick shout out to those individuals moving on this week, wrestling-wise to Kyle and Colin. Colin's mom, I don't know if she's in the stands. Jen, that's my cousin, so Colin's my family member, which I wouldn't take the time to point out if he lost in the first round, but since he's going to state, I'm definitely going to point that out. Good. I wouldn't hide from it no matter what. But anyways, back to our basketball program, guys. Before I talk a little bit about our season, quick appreciation or thank you to our cheerleaders and the coach. you guys were so supportive, and besides the support, which we appreciate, for 22 games and a lot of road trips, and we played a lot of back-to-back games on Friday and Saturday. They are always prompt and on time and quiet on the bus. They are a well-oiled, disciplined group of young ladies, and I know that has a lot to do with the coach that they're led by. So we appreciate that greatly and consistently throughout the year. As far as our season, guys, I think between the live streams and the social media and the attention that wins and losses get, I think most of you guys know where we're at in regards to that. It's not really the point of my talk tonight. We try to stress with our guys that the result of our games is not the most important thing. Do we want to win? Absolutely. We want to win. We want to compete like crazy. But at the end of the day, we want to represent our community. We want to work together as a team. We want to be unselfish. We want an excited bench. We want to persevere. We want to work hard when we're down 20, up 20. We want to respect our opponents. We want to respect coaches. We want to respect officials. And we want, when things aren't going our way, we want to grind and keep battling and find a way to make the most out of our opportunities. And in that area, I can say that we grew a lot. Not that it was a huge detriment, a huge negative to our team early on, but it is a piece that we struggled with. We're getting used to playing with new guys. We're coming off a fall sport. We're not in the shape that we want to be in. We don't quite understand our roles. And for high school kids and other kids, it's tough to do. But if you're a witness to our teams towards the end, we figured it out pretty darn good. In our biggest games of the year, the end of the year, Bedford, we're down in the fourth quarter. Madison on the road, we're down in the fourth quarter. We're down by 10 against a very determined team in the playoffs. And those were 3 games that ended. The result, yeah, we're happy with the result, but if you watch the way our guys acted and persevered and played together as a team and were unselfish with their roles and were excited on the bench and fought like crazy, the guys that were on the floor is why we got the result that that kept us going in the right direction. And even in our last game that ended our season in Glenville, down 15 points in the second half, you saw the same thing. These guys didn't quit. They fought until the final couple seconds, brought it down from 15 to brought it down to 4 in the last minute. And the reason why they were able to hang in there in that second half and show that mentality and show that toughness is because of the approach that they had in the prior 22 games. They put them in position. That approach put them in position to move on. Unfortunately, we didn't, but we could walk off the court and end our season feeling satisfied that we did what we could. And unfortunately, the results, they only go one way, or they only go the right way in some eyes for one team per division, and that wasn't us. But overall we were thrilled with the way our guys handled the 24 games that they competed in. And that goes 9 through 12 as well, not just the varsity guys. A couple individual awards that they want us to bring up at this part of the banquet as well. We'll start with Nate Cubison and Jalen and Drew. Those 3 guys were, Nate was a 3rd team, all district, Northeast Ohio district basketball recognition, and Drew and Jalen were honorable mention, all district, Northeast Ohio team. So if those 3 guys could come up, that would be appreciated. Yeah. The other part that we were asked to recognize was our all-conference individuals, and those 3 were recognized at the conference level as well as 2 others. I'll tell you what levels they were recognized here at a second, but if Jake and Devon Holbert could come upon the stage as well. All 5 of these guys were recognized in the league. We had Devon Holbert and Jake Cubison recognized as honorable mention. Drew Schiano and Jalen Anderson were recognized as 2nd team all-conference. And Nate Cubison was recognized as 1st team all-conference. I think they wanted, do you want the 5 of them in the middle there? You guys can go to the middle. The last announcement we were asked to give was our team MVP. And in the boys basketball program, we have two MVPs. You may have heard their names before. They've been in the program for quite a bit. They've been in our program, not just in our program, but in the varsity gym for 4 years. They will also, I guess their names will be in our gym for a very long time, as they both got a pretty neat achievement this year, an individual achievement this year of both obtaining 1,000-point scores. Nate Covison was the third boys to do it all time in Perry boys basketball history, and Drew 2 games later was the fourth boy in all of Perry boys basketball history to achieve 1,000 points in their career. The 1,000 points helps the fact of why they're our MVP, but that just shares really a small story with these two guys. It really does. They're team players. They're unselfish. They work like crazy in whatever that they're doing. They will do whatever we ask them to do as coaching staffs, and they're what our program stands for in a variety of ways. So they're MVPs for more than just their scoring ability, and we're glad that they are representing us with that honor. And if those two can come up and receive that award, and then we'll turn it over to the next sport. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach Isofano. Congratulations, gentlemen, and all of our basketball, boys basketball team. Moving on, we're going to talk about our cheerleading program. They support our basketball team in the winter, our football team in the fall, do a great job on the sidelines for us. Their head coach is Shannon Horsfall. Coach Horsfall.
I want to thank all parents, administrators, faculty, staff, students, and the fans that helped make the season special for us. We truly had a lot of fun cheering for both the boys mainly, and also we had the honor to cheer that one girls basketball game. So thank you for that invite, Madison. We can't wait to do it again next year. We really enjoy doing that. I'm especially proud of the academic achievements of the cheerleaders. I recognize all the effort they put in academically to better themselves. And I remind the girls, just like I do my own boys, that academics have to come first in order for them to participate in the sport that they love. So thank you for all your hard work. In cheerleading, we don't have the statistics like the other sports have to measure our success, but what we do have are the friendships and the lessons and the maturing that are a direct reflection of the effort, the selfless commitment to the team, and our dedication. I'm proud of the way these girls represent our high school, and as a coach, I'm so fortunate to have been a small part of it. Also, thank you, Coach Isofano, for your, I don't know where to go, for your so kind words earlier. It truly means the world to me, and I know the girls appreciate it too. Moving on to the MVP. Okay, the MVP goes to a young lady who gave cheerleading her all and had an outstanding season. She is dedicated and determined, always given 110%, even up to that last second of that last game the boys played. She's a natural leader who radiates positive energy among her teammates and all those around her. Most of all, she is coachable, always wanting to learn more and work harder to be the best version of herself. In the last few years, I can honestly say that I think she taught me more than I could ever teach her, and it's been an honor to be her coach. Anna Nidzwicki. Okay, at this time, I'd like to introduce Mrs. Becky Gary. She will present the Jen Gary Memorial Scholarship.
Good evening. I am Becky, and this is my husband, Dan. We are the parents of Jennifer Gary. We are here to present the Jen Gary Memorial Scholarship Award. The winning participant will receive a $500 scholarship along with her name engraved on the school's Jen Gary Memorial plaque located outside the high school gymnasium. Jen's classmates of 1999, along with her family and friends, established this scholarship in her honor. This award is voted upon by her cheerleading squad, choosing the recipient who represents the following description, and this description was written by Jen's 1998 state champion cheerleading coach, Kevin Buckman. This award is dedicated to the memory of Jen Gary in recognition of her passion for cheerleading. Her contagious enthusiasm, sportsmanlike conduct, outgoing personality, and positive attitude contributed to her success in this sport. Jen was an outstanding role model. She loved cheerleading and made it fun for everyone around her. This award will go to those who follow in Jen's footsteps. This year's recipient goes to Anna Nedwitzy.
Thank you to Coach Horsfall. Thank you to the Garys for being here this evening as well. And we're moving on. Girls basketball and their head coach, Mr. Roy Infalvi Jr. Coach.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming out tonight. First of all, real quick, I just want to say a couple thank yous. Our administrators here at Perry, Mr. Porcello, Mr. Nedzwicki, Dr. Thompson, our school board and support staff, are constantly at our games, writing notes, emails, things like that, supporting us. So we appreciate that. Ms. Ovens, like Mr. Rockwell said, does so much for our team and does a lot for our athletic department. And then Mr. Rockwell, I said it last year, I've worked for different athletic directors. His time commitment and all he does is amazing. You don't understand that unless you've been other places and seen other things. He goes above and beyond. So we are thankful to have him, so we don't want to take him for granted. And real quick too, Danielle Stevenson, who's our booster rep. Thank you, Danielle. And then to my wife, Tracy, for all her time. Coach's wives are in a tough spot, and she does a lot supporting us, so thank you. Our season this year, we had a great season. I had a lot of fun. It's a long season, basketball. We started October 25th, and we ended March 3rd. It's a long time, going 6 days a week, some weeks 7, depending when games were. It's a lot of time and it's a lot of effort on the court, off the court, watching film, scouting reports, things like that. It's a ton, and the girls don't complain. They work hard. They do, as the year went on, they worked harder and harder, practiced better. And it says a lot about them. It says a lot about you as parents of our athletes, their work ethic and attention to detail and their coachability. It's really awesome. As a coach for me, I love it. I don't have to do a lot of as much of that motivation stuff. Obviously, there's still some involved, but they work hard. And, we as coaches ask them to do different things, and they do it, and it's awesome. I have a tremendous team, great group of young ladies, and I'm very thankful to be able to coach them. Our season, real quick, we were 20-6 this year, 12-1 in the CVC, and we won the district title for the second year in a row and advanced to regionals for the second year in a row, which is pretty awesome. I don't want, and I'll talk about this a little bit later, our girls to kind of take that for granted. I know a couple of them, too, that play multiple sports, both basketball and softball, too. Like, my daughter, for example, has played in 4 regional tournaments. And I'm like, you don't understand. That's not normal. Don't take that stuff for granted. So for us as a team, we can't take that for granted. But it is a big accomplishment. One of the other things, too, Coach Isafano talked about is, there's more to the game than winning, and that's true. And I talked about the work ethic of our young ladies, but also, too, our last 2 tournament games, both of those, both officials at the end of the game, both in our district title and in our regional, came up to me and complimented our girls about, they don't complain about calls. They don't, throw their hands up if there's a bad call. They hand the ball back to the ref. They work hard. And he came up to me, 2 different officials came up to me and said that. And that says a lot about, I'm as proud of that as I am with all our wins and the things we've accomplished. So that says a lot about our young ladies on our team. To go over a couple awards. One, I'll go over our CVC awards. We had 5 girls honored in the CVC this year, so I'll have them come up. First of all, we had 2 honorable mention, Gigi Vicini and Lauren Sutyak. We had 1 second team award for the CVC, J.C. Anderson. And we had 2 first team, Ellie Falvey and Madison Hacking. Also, too, we had 2 that made the all-district team for Northeast Ohio. Ellie Falvey was 3rd team all-district, and Madison Hacking was 2nd team all-district. And then just came out today, about an hour before I got here, Madison Hacking was also named to honorable mention All-Ohio. So. Lastly, I want to introduce our MVP. Our MVP is someone that, in general, needs to be a complete player in all areas. They must be someone that the team counts on in big situations. Our MVP is someone that I think exemplifies that. She works hard at practice every single day. She does everything we ask for. She steps up in big games. She does things off the court, too. And our MVP this year is Madison Hacking.
Great job, ladies. Just an amazing year for our ladies basketball program. Again, I would echo Coach Falvey's sentiment that you definitely can't take it for granted. Outstanding accomplishment, whether it's 2 times in a row, 5 times in a row, anytime. They've won the conference 4 years in a row. We've had some programs do that over the last several years. So congratulations on an outstanding year. Along with that, and I forgot to do this last year because he's, speaking of back-to-back, He's back-to-back Coach of the Year in the Chagrin Valley Conference, and that's Coach Infalvi. Sunday at Orange High School, they were awarded their plaque, so I don't have one to give him because he was there with some of our first team girls being honored out at Orange. But Coach, congratulations, very well deserved. Yep. It's even with all the success and winning the CVC 4 years in a row, it's something now within the league that they have to vote on. So the coaches vote on that. It's not just given. It used to be just given to whoever won the championship that year. So I know Coach has the respect of all the other coaches in our league, and that's shown right there with that award. So congratulations and great job, ladies. All right, we're moving on to our gymnastics program, and you'll see my name next to that line. And no, I am not the gymnastics coach. All right, but I'm going to fill in tonight for our gymnastics coach who couldn't be here. Her husband is going through some health issues and some other things going on in their lives, so she could not be here tonight. He had a recent surgery, and so I'm here to represent Coach Jess and our gymnastics team and talk a little bit about the year that they had. And for those of you who don't know, all right, gymnastics is a sport that is not only a lot of these girls have been doing this since they were about this tall. All right, so back to whether kindergarten, first grade, fourth grade, whatever, multiple years. You just don't show up your freshman year a lot of the times and decide I want to be a gymnast. There's a lot of work that goes into it prior to the high school years, and our girls did an excellent job of representing the red and white this year. On the floor. There's a lot of travel that's involved. So we don't have gymnastics equipment here. So they're going several days a week out to mentor, to practice. They competed. The farthest place they went this year was down to Cincinnati. All right, so they're traveling all over the great state of Ohio to do the sport that they love, and a lot of it at the expense of their families, monetarily and time and commitment wise. So I can't say enough about these girls and what they do. So congratulations on a great year. You'll see there we had a 4th place finish this year as a team at the Flip for the Cure event, and Katie Cousins was a 5th place all around placer at the Lakewood Pink Meet. So it's great that we have 6 girls on our roster that allows us to compete as a team. We've had a couple years where we've only had 2 or 3. And so with only 1 senior this year, we look to have the whole team back next year, and we're excited about the future. So ladies, congratulations on a great year. At this point, I would like to honor our gymnastics MVP, and I've already mentioned her by name once. That's our senior, Katie Cousins, if she could come on up. All right, so Katie, as I mentioned, she's moving on from Perry High School, given 4 years to the gymnastics program, extreme dedication to the sport. And for those of you also don't know, each of her 4 years, she was a multi-sport athlete as well. So for the first 3 years, she was a basketball player while she was doing gymnastics. This year, she said, I'm not going to do basketball, I'm going to do diving for our swim and dive program. So I know I'm getting a lot of thumbs up here from our swim team and our dive team. She did a great job representing us there as well. Katie, we wish you nothing but the best of luck. She's moving on to West Virginia University next year. And congratulations on an outstanding career. Very well-deserved award. So gymnastics parents, you get me at the end of the night too. So we'll see you in our classroom here in a little bit. But for now, we'll move on to our next sport of the evening. And that is our swim and dive program. And their head coach is Mr. Jason DeAngelis. Coach DeAngelis.
All right, good evening. So I'm, as you guys hear, I'm the swim coach. And so I'll do both my boys and girls teams at the same time, and we'll kind of give you a little recap of what they did and how things went. So our boys team this year was pretty small. We had nine boys who swam for us, And if you look and see their record, they were over 500. And I don't put a ton of stock into dual meets. I do like to win. I know they like to win as well. So we kind of went out there and had to be real strategic with what we swam and how we swam. And some of those losses are to teams that were, twice our size, and some of those wins are actually to teams twice our size. So it was a full team effort. The boys really pulled it together and came down to every event meant something, and it was a super good team effort for them. On the girls' side, on the opposite now, we actually got to add diving back, so that was a nice little addition and kind of helps in some of our tight meets. Girls swam incredible. We were able to take all 3 relays to districts, and that's kind of how I judge how we did for the season. So we had 11 swimmers make districts, and all 3 girls relays were there, so which was, as you can see, they're very excited about that. So I always appreciate that and their work and effort that they do. I have to say a few thank yous before I do our team MVP and our all CVCs, but I need to thank Jenny Sharon and Carrie Scales. Without them, I don't know what I would do. They truly take care of setting everything up for me. They make sure we have enough timers and people running concessions, and we host a meet here with close to 400 swimmers, and they're the ones who organize the small army that sets up every swim meet. So without them, that'd be a lot more time on my hands, and I appreciate that they take care of that for me. So I'll do our all CVCs, which is, again, super exciting this year because of the way they set up our CVC. So we got a bunch of first teams and second teams. So when you guys come up, just find a good spot. It's a big stack. All right, so first team goes to Lauren Hogler in the 200 IM, Emily Kusar in the 100 freestyle, I'm going to move the relays to the end. All right, 100 backstroke was Hope Kitchen. All right, second team, we have Emily Sharon in the 200 IM. All right, and then for relays, we have the 200 medley relay, which was made up of Hope Kitchen, Lauren Hogler, Lauren Hurley, and Emily Kusar. The 400 free relay was made up of Sadie Hodgson, Lauren Hurley, Addie Renau, and Emily Sharon. $200 free relay is made up of Hope Kitchen, Emily Kusar, Lauren Hogler, and Sadie Hodgson. Honorable mention for the ladies goes to Zoe Hicks, and Claire Scales. Make sure you get a picture. I got it. All right, and for the boys' side, first team goes to Gavin LeBeau, 200 free. He's also in the 500 freestyle. Second team in the 200 free is Jason Culleton. In the 50 free, Van Reinhardt. Van's also the second team for the 100 free as well. Jason Culleton, second team in the 500 free. And then we have the relays. 200 free relay goes to Mateo Aguirre. Van Reinhardt. Jason Culleton and Gavin LeBeau. 400 free relay will also go to, this is the second team, goes to Mateo, Gavin, Jason, and Van. And then our honorable mentions go to Daniel Lynch and Evan Sears. All right, and then I'll do our team MVPs. And so how I select these is I take all the points that they score in dual meets and in invitationals, and I add it all up, and I come up with whoever scored the most points, because that makes them the most valuable to the team. So for the girls' side, goes to Hope Kitchen. Happy birthday, Hope. All right, and on the boys' side, it goes to Van Reinhardt.
All right, that's a lot of certificates, it's a lot of names, and with that, you're probably asking, how did they had to do well at the conference meet, and the answer is resounding yes. The boys finished as the runner-up in their division, which until the girls' place came out, that was the highest we'd ever finished in a CVC League Swim Conference Championship, was second, and our girls did one better. They won our first ever in the history of our school CVC championship in swimming. So congratulations to our girls. Great job. It is always a great day when you have to buy an extra banner. So we're purchasing a swim banner that'll be hung up shortly. It'll be up before graduation, I can promise you that. We'll have our 2020 on there, so congratulations. Along with that, much like girls basketball, even though they won the championship, the award is voted on, and Coach DeAngelis was a unanimous Coach of the Year for the Chagrin Valley Conference in our division. So I'd like to award him. He wasn't able to head out to Orange on Saturday, like Coach was. So Coach DeAngelis, CVC Coach of the Year. Congratulations. All right, and moving on, as I said, we're alphabetically, so wrestling, last but not least, just last in the alphabet. I know, Coach. We're moving. I'll get out of your way. Our head coach, Mr. David Rowan.
Good evening, everybody. How are we doing tonight? I know you want to get out of here. Me too. So I'm just going to start real quick here. First off, I want to thank all my coaching staff. I'm very blessed I work with some fine individuals that really represent what we're trying to do as a program. I had a chance earlier today to talk to Coach Hartman. I know, like, Mr. Fabio, Coach Hartman, right? What a class guy I talked to. And we were talking about my coaching staff, and you couldn't believe it. Remember the times we had Bob Ridley coaching with them. But I have Chris Bezic. He's kind of the rock, kind of keeps the train on the tracks, right? I have Chris Scioli. I have Jason Thomas. I have John Sill. Anthony Miller. Huxell, Coach Huxell. Coach Ian Ross and Coach Sweeney. I think I'm forgetting somebody. Yeah, I forgot about Coach Christinger. He's a big part of why we're being successful right now. Okay. All right, a little bit, a highlight of our season. The first thing we're really proud of, second year in a row, we won the All-Ohio academic team. You had to have it qualify with a GPA of 3.3 or higher. So congratulations to our wrestlers for that. This is the 8th year in a row that we've qualified somebody for the state tournament that's made the All-Ohio academic team with a 3.5 or higher GPA. And that's unweighted, by the way, too. So 8 years in a row somebody qualified for that. We were CVC runner-ups this year. Probably the best moment of my season, our season I should say, was when we wrestled Madison at Madison, and we had 9 straight pins before we ended the match. It was great. We always like to beat Madison. As a matter of fact, Coach Rockwell, I'm going to make you sign the contract tonight. Next year, we're going to wrestle Madison during the day in the theater during school before break. Yeah. Okay. That was another highlight of our season. We also actually wrestled our first dual meet on the stage here in early January. It was pretty good. Moving on to some other awards we have, and before I do that, it comes to mind, Coach Stefano. Is Brock Savan out in the crowd? Brock, stand up. Yeah, Brock. Brock, I was truly amazed with you when it was, 1.2 seconds left in that game, and you put it through the hoop. Whatever you call it. All right? That was impressive. That was impressive because, the wrestler, you're kind of on your own, right? Out on the stage, and you got thousands of people watching you, and, it's either you're going to win or lose, and there's nobody behind you. And that was awesome. That reminded me of a wrestling match. That was cool. Good job. Good coaching. Okay. All right. Our team was pretty young. What can I say about them? I want to say they matured, finally. And, finally. And they became more coachable. And as it became more coachable, we had a lot more fun. They bought into the hard work, and believe me, they work hard. And I saw some guys get a lot better this year. I'm looking forward to next year. To help me out with the CVC awards, I'm going to call my right-hand man, Mr. Bezic. He's going to help me read them off. I'm going to shake their hands. I call them up.
Save your applause for the end, please. First team all CVC, we had 3 first team. And the nice thing about wrestling is that this isn't voted. You actually go out and beat people to earn this. So these 3 were all champs of their weight classes in the CVC tournament. And that's Zach Bellissimo, Kyle Rowan, and Colin Koenig. If 3 of you come up, please. We also had 3 second team all CVC. Brock Christian, Calvin Rowan, and Ethan Hicks. Please come up. And we had 2 honorable mentions this season, was Ryan Burtis and Blake Schubert.
In our league, we have an MVP of the league, the CVC league, And great pleasure to announce this. This is his third time, not in a row, but his third time he's won overall conference MVP, Kyle Rowan. He's also, he's only the fourth wrestler in history of the conference to win it 4 years in a row. It's pretty impressive. Right now, our season's not over yet. We have our state tournament coming up this weekend. Hopefully we get it in. Okay? If you know what I mean. So, they don't like doing this, but it's a great opportunity. We got Colin and we have Kyle representing our high school this weekend down the state tournament. Can we give them a big round of applause for their appreciation for it? That's an extreme amount of pressure, right, Savan? You know what that's like, right? Standing in front of the crowd, everybody relying on you to make that to win that match or win that, throw that, what do you call it in again, right? Okay? So it's a lot of pressure for these young men to go down and compete, and we really appreciate your support, okay? That's it, boys. We'll see you guys later on, okay?
Thank you, Coach Rowan. And ladies and gentlemen, he mentioned the fact that we're hopeful that the state tournaments will be played this weekend. If you did not hear, late this afternoon, right around 4 o'clock, the OHSA made an announcement that all state tournaments, girls basketball, ice hockey, and wrestling, all in Columbus this weekend, will be done with limited spectators. So really only family members and essential personnel to those events, so that's a little unfortunate. But the good news is this. They're working, the OHSA is working hard because obviously we're going to have some opportunities taken away from fans being able to go down there and watch those events, that they're doing their best, I'm told. I've been in contact with their office that they're going to try to get some of those things on the television, so stay tuned. If you weren't planning on going to Columbus this weekend, there is a good chance, whether it's Spectrum, and we'll get the information out to you, but some of those events might be on the TV, and we'd be able to watch Kyle and Colin this weekend. So best of luck, boys. Well-deserved honor. I know you guys have worked pretty much your entire careers to get to this point, so we wish you the best of luck, and we're very proud of you. Good luck. All right, so we are now done here in the theater. So again, the sports that will meet, boys basketball will head to Media Center, girls basketball will stay put in the theater, and gymnastics will be in our conference room. We thank you again for coming out this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to all of our athletes. Have a great night, everybody.
When you smile, does the whole world smile with you? Dr. Rusty Albrecht, Dr. Chandis Richards, and Dr. London Albrecht are committed to improving your smile. At Albrecht Family Dentistry, we can handle all your dental needs, including dental implants, crowns, dentures, partials, relines, extractions, root canals, veneers, tooth whitening, and clear braces. Don't let anything stand between you and the smile that you've always wanted. Call 440-358-0495.